Come, let's talk about it. The things that try to stop you and try to block you from walking in your purpose. Welcome to Destiny Blockers Podcast, where we break chains, fake truth, and walk in a destiny. They tried to stop you, tried to block you, but you're still standing. This is Destiny Blockers Podcast. Real talk, real healing, real freedom.
Yeah, real talk.
Real freedom.
Real freedom.
Real
Welcome to Destiny Blockers Podcast. Yeah, number two of many. I'm so hyped. I'm so ready. I got my girl here, Vonseal.
Yes.
My name is Pratita. I'm excited today to talk about, identity.
Yeah.
And who am I? I just been thinking about this. I'm on this journey of finding me.
Yes, definitely.
And on this journey of finding me, I'm finding out I didn't know who I was.
Thanks for having the courage to even acknowledge that.
Come on now. This is some
Courage.
self-healing.
It is.
And a lot of times we don't recognize these things because we are so caught up in life, in problems,
Yes.
in titles, in circumstances.
Automatics.
Automatic. So we're going to talk about that today.
Okay,
You
let's
know,
do it.
I'm excited to have my girl here. We were talking and we were getting ready, just talking about some things. And I was like, hold up. Nah, we going to say this. But one thing about myself and Vonseal, we can talk, honey.
Yes.
But it's good stuff.
It is.
It's good stuff.
It's good stuff because you've got two young women determined to give themselves permission to take care of themselves.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's right.
We've been here, we've lived, we've had life experiences. There have been challenges, but then there have been some serious goals being met. You set the tempo, you set the pace, you run the race, you get it done. And then sometimes there can still be things that can hinder full freedom, full maturity, confidence, knowing, being sure of who you are and your purpose.
Most definitely. And, I jotted down some things and I was like, for me,
Okay.
this is a season I have been, this season has been teaching me that identity isn't discovered in noise.
Okay.
Titles, relationships are survival roles. Now, that's your girl right there.
Survival roles.
Come on. It's revealed when God starts stripping away who we had to become
Okay.
so we can finally see who we are.
Okay. Give me an example of what you're talking about when you say stripping away who you've become.
Who I had to become. So I had these roles.
All right.
And these roles that came upon me because of the conditions
Okay.
of responsibility.
How early?
Early as, being the oldest,
Okay.
probably, I remember washing dishes at 5.
Okay. So
I remember I couldn't even stand at the counter to wash the dishes. And I had to have a step stool at 5.
Okay.
Because in our household, cleanliness is next to godliness. Okay.
And when you are set to do a task, get it done.
And that's how I've lived my life. Now, don't get me wrong. I
Okay.
am grateful for the teachings, the way I was brought up in terms of having work ethics,
Yes.
my integrity.
Yes.
Those are things are all a part of it. But some of them things lingered because they were those things that I had to do to survive in the environment.
And yeah, so I appreciate that you're able to recognize that that's where it started. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It doesn't have to be a bad thing that
Right.
I learned to do chores, that I learned to do that. But there's also that thing of the motivation, that sense of if I don't do this, I have failed. Because of the atmosphere. Sometimes when you get born as a human, you don't get a lot of support and understanding. I've said repeatedly,
You say it.
you can't coming here human, and don't nobody have to get a certification and make sure you don't break no human being. 3 to 7 minutes to conceive, let that set in. And then from there, pregnancy, you birth. But that doesn't mean you really know all of the things to make sure that they're confident, comfortable, safe, reassured that they matter just because they're here. But then when you are 5 years old and the expectation is to get the job done, so you find the step stool, you do the washing of the dishes, you the oldest in the birth order, you take on responsibility and you drink the whole thing without taking a gulp. No breaths. And then you just do it again.
I just thought about, I know this funny, but I just
Go
thought
ahead.
about Color Purple.
Yes.
And
child.
I thought about Color Purple.
My favorite movie.
My favorite movie too.
I
That's
watch
why
it.
we sisters.
Yes.
I thought about Color Purple and how she spit in
The daddy.
the daddy.
The daddy drink.
Yes, how
Next time I'm going to put a little sugar
I'ma
and
put a
pea
little-
in it. I know almost the whole thing. Okay.
And so she put that thing in there, and because he was so thirsty,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? He didn't think about that. He didn't know nothing was in there. He just thought she had gave him this water.
And it quenched his thirst.
Come on now. But that's so much of what that identity has shaped in a lot of people, where it's just, okay, I'm going to trust you.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to trust you because you mama. I'm going to trust you because you daddy. I'm going to trust you because you grandma. I'm going to trust you because I love you. And so the whole time, because their identity has been shaped,
Yeah.
and it hasn't been shaped by, I'm just being real, it hasn't been shaped by God like that.
And if it has been, there's little pieces.
Yes.
But you said it when you gave that example. His thirst was quenched. He just ain't know the extra was in there.
Come
And
on
the extra
now.
was like not like, that was just like the that was the extra and the yuck. And he had no idea because it still quenched the thirst, but it can have that residue in there. So it's real important that once you start moving through and you start recognizing, who am I? Even asking the question, having that courage to consider, how did I get here? Let me stop and take a listen, take a look. Without not with judgment and meanness, but let me just go on this destination being discovery.
Right. And you know what? That is so true. I just thought about my son, Daniel, my oldest son. And that little boy, he was at a young age, he was insightful and he was aware of things, and it would come out of his mouth like, did this child just say that? So his dad and my dad were in the kitchen, and we were talking, and Daniel loved football, so he was coming back and forth in the house, coming back and forth, and he had his little football, and he heard me and daddy and my ex-husband, his father, talking at the table, and we was talking about birth and how people get here and all of that. So Daniel didn't hear the context of the conversation.
Okay.
He just said, I said, well, how did you get here then, since you all in our conversation? He said, I opened up the door and I walked in.
Because that's how he got in the door that day. Amen. So regular.
And I believe that's how we learn, because we're seeing these things, our environments, but we haven't checked this self-check.
Yes.
It's only because of what we modeled.
Right.
I have been modeling this person
Right.
that I thought that I was supposed to be. And many of you out there, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
we have been modeling. We have been masking.
Yes.
We have been saying identity is based off of a title.
Yes.
Oh, we good at that in church.
Oh.
Now, we're in a church. We ain't having church. But, oh, we good at that in church. We know how to present like I'm a pastor. We know how to
Yes.
present like we're a PK kid.
Yes.
Hey, my sister is here today.
Okay. And she knows.
And we were PK kids, but let me tell you, that sister right there, She was gonna try.
Everything.
It,
All of
if
it.
Daddy said don't go out, Rhonda going out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, so for me, I modeled the good child.
Okay.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
didn't go against the grain.
I didn't go against the grain. And so a lot of times you're not recognizing, because sometimes you wonder why you're still holding on, because you're trying to be this image.
Okay.
You're trying to be this image of what people think you are. But really, that person is suffering.
You know, in alongside the suffering, though, you said something. You said you know that you learned some things. Mm-hmm. We saw that Mr. got his thirst quenched. Mm-hmm. But there are other things that can come, these external things, mm-hmm. that can put pressure on.
Right.
And then you find yourself on that inside journey where you tired.
Exhausted.
Where you sad. Okay, not just tired. Take
You
it up.
exhausted.
You're exhausted. Stressed. Mm-hmm. Angry. Mm-hmm. Feeling sometimes betrayed, used, unappreciated.
Come on.
You don't get validated for it because you never did, even at the 5-year-old time. Nobody said, baby, you did such a good job. It was just like good. It got done.
Expected.
It just got done. Mm-hmm. So we get task focused. We get these lists and things we checking off. But then on the inside, we don't listen to those voices. We just tell them to be quiet, and then we either eat or we go and add more to it. We constantly doing, and every time we do something and somebody says, doesn't even acknowledge it, and then you just kind of drop your head and be like, don't nobody see me. And then you don't see yourself either. Mm-mm. And you miserable. Depression is anger turned inward. So
Say
then
that
you get
again.
mad.
Slow that down.
Depression is anger that you turn inside. Not holding people accountable. For no, I don't like that you said that. When you said that, that hurt my feelings. Or the fact that I've been the one to cook all the food and bring it to the Thanksgiving, and I'm the one washing the dishes, and then ain't nobody even say it tasted good.
Whoa.
Those little things that don't get acknowledged, and then we're expected to, if you the worded church member, the faith that God put a lot on you, and you just got to bed and trust and believe and just pray and trust God or sing a good song.
Nah, I got one for you when
Go
you
ahead.
said that part, because you can bear it. Then, as church folk, what
Okay.
we would start to do is to quote the scriptures, where we start to identify with that, because God won't put no more on you
Than you could bear.
So if God won't put more on me than I could bear, and I'm going through this, then I must be supposed to bear it.
How about this, though? Did he not rise up? Did he not recognize he had completed that part of it? Didn't he raise up? And then he declared that we can have so much more in him in the earth. It's not just that we finna die and go to heaven. Can we have any of that in the earth realm? Mm-hmm. In ourselves, as we learn and recognize who he can be in us and through us, for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the time where we have to take that time for that self-healing to recognize.
Yeah.
But because we are still in that place of survival.
Surviving, and then there's been wounds.
Come on.
You got wounds,
that's a real
and
one
they're
there.
open. They
Yes.
never got stitched up. They never healed. And you're walking around with wounds from something that said. They used to have this thing where they said, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Biggest lie ever. Some of us are
Huge.
going back to things that were said, where you just like or if you had done this then, well, you want them fast, and you don't mean nothing, you ain't about nothing, your daddy wasn't about nothing. All of these kinds of things can be messages that we got, and we end up believing them, and we internalize them. And those are words, and they're like boulders. We had done, when we worked together, this thing called Strengthening Families,
Yeah.
and we had that training about how they turn into boulders. Mm-hmm. And they can hit, they can bruise, but we got to make sure we get those wounds healed.
Yes. And speaking of that, I
Okay.
was looking at The View one day. It was on YouTube, and Oprah Winfrey was on there because I guess she co-wrote this book
Okay.
about all of the medication that the to help you to lose the weight.
Right.
And y'all know the struggle. You know the struggle
Yep.
about Oprah and the weight. And they showed the picture with her had lost all of this weight, 60 pounds.
And she had it in the wagon.
In the wagon, and she
Yeah.
brought it out there. And she said when people would talk about her losing the weight, or that she was not losing the weight, but how big she was, she felt that she deserved it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
She felt that she deserved it. That was a part of her identity.
But it
she-
wasn't. She didn't feel good about it though.
No, she was okay with it.
Okay.
She talked about that. That's what she said. She
Okay.
was okay with it when they said those things because she thought that oh, you just not doing enough. You're not, oh
Okay.
no, you're not working out. Oh, she said, and Joan Rivers, she was on the Tonight Show or something
Right.
like that. And Joan Rivers had her on the show. And she says, off the air, she told her, she said, I'll invite you back when you lose the 15 pounds. And so that's the image that is what I'm talking about in terms of you taking ownership of this identity that society, family, or
Yeah.
whoever. And when she said that, she said for people that never had an issue with weight and obesity, because it is a gene. It is medical.
Some of it is.
It's yeah. And she was, and they were talking about the mental part of it, but she says, so she would then do, oh, I can't have this. I can't have this gravy on this I can't have this gravy on this mashed potatoes. And as she was talking, I was like, now that ain't me. I don't have them issues. But the more I reflected back to what she was saying, I saw I do that.
But it's not even just about weight, how you will blame yourself for whatever has gone on, and you'll be like, something's wrong with me, and if I could just fix this wrong.
And that's the same thing.
You know, I heard this same, if you're talking about this same interview, I saw part of it too, where she was up for an Emmy and was hoping that they wouldn't call her name because she knew she had gained the weight back and didn't want to walk across
Yes,
to
that
get-
was the same interview.
Same thing. So we talking about this, all these messages that we get.
Come on.
Some of them are internal, and it's always about what's wrong with us, as opposed to us being able to say, be our own encourager.
Right. But then that comes from owning your identity.
True.
You know, I didn't want to make it spiritual, but you got to go back to the spiritual to understand he said, let us make man in our own image, right?
Yep.
And he said, so he created male and female, he created them.
Yep.
So he was talking to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let us make man. Let us. And so we were created in his image. But the issue is we don't know his image. And that's the problem. The identity has been stemming from environments, trauma, rejection, society, those lists, those things that we have to feel like, because I was a dark kid.
Oh my goodness.
You understand what I'm saying? I wasn't small like my sister. I was always big. And so you see all of the boy, my milkshake ring on the grass in the yard. I can teach you, but I have to. Let me stop.
Okay.
So growing up, my sister, light skin was beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Light skin was beautiful.
I'm the older sister between the two of us. But how about they did not have any of the songs about the little bitty waist and all of the... I had to wear girdles when I was 11, 13, all the way down to the knees. They had me in them. There wasn't no spandex and stuff. It was the extra. But all of that gave you the message that something must be wrong.
There you go. That's what I'm... Yeah.
Again, so then once you get to this place where all of that's going on, and we won't have to just talk about the spirit. Your spirit man can come in, but then you got to make sure you handle that soul. Your soul being saved. And all of these emotions and everything.
They're housed there.
They're housed there. So then sometimes you actually will hear this kind of word, kind of message, kind of folks just talking, and you'll be like, but don't ignore it. Go ahead and acknowledge that thing and have that conversation with yourself. Have I been resentful of cousins, aunties, grandmamas, granddaddies, uncles, and the extra stuff that some of us, whether you male or female, where this thing that has happened?
Or even not even being resentful, because I never resented.
Okay.
My sister, love my sister. What the image was for me, I took on an identity that because I was darker, I wasn't enough.
There you go.
That's what I'm talking
Thanks
about.
for the clarity.
So the image, and that's what I'm talking about. So that image was, let
That
us
something
make
was
man.
wrong.
Something was wrong.
Instead
Because
of
I
it
didn't
being-
understand I
right.
was created in his image.
And all of these,
Right.
everyone, all
that
of
we're
man.
all different.
It
But
is-
all I'm looking at is what society viewed, even in our black culture.
Good point.
In our society, as pretty, as beautiful, is being white.
Yes.
It's being, I got the long, beautiful hair. I got the blue eyes.
Oh
Or
my gosh.
I'm light skinned.
Are we-
So or I get all of the boys because I got this beautiful shape.
How about-
And you can see my little curves. But honey, I had some little extra curves. And I was dark.
So then here we are having the reality of what blocks our destiny. And a part of what can block our destiny is that message that we have owned.
It's an internal.
And it's an internal thing that we have to make aware, becoming aware, and then make that adjustment. Being able to, like we talk, acknowledge and then accept that you here. And then make those changes. And once the changes start, making sure that, we're going back to the color purple. You remember she was walking down the hall after she found out that the letters was there, and then
Yeah.
Mr. Thing came up with the jacket on it. And then at first she winced away, and then she said, bump this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to stop your own thoughts and say, no, I'm not going there. Those old kind of things that I've said to myself, that if you were, or that, when that shift happens, own it. And you don't have to come out being mean, being nasty, going to get back, going to, if there is some resentments, if there's hurts, but the wounds got to get healed.
Right. And the thing that, what God has been showing me about Pratina is that he's rewiring me. He's
Okay.
recalibrating me.
Yes.
Because in order for me to recognize it, and I'm finding out because I've been conditioned to be responsible, to have these responsibilities, I have developed a hypervigilance, like a hyper responsibility for
Yes.
it. So then I feel like I'm the one that's got to fix it.
Gotta be the
or
one.
I'm obligated to do this. So when I don't do that, there's a rejection. My body is feeling some form of, my nervous system is like, what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? Did I do something? Because my body is going in like,
Yes.
short-circuiting.
It's called stress.
Yeah, because I did not recognize this is who I was. Like, I recognize now because I've been a crisis clinician
Yeah.
for so long.
Right.
Because my life has been in crisis.
Yes.
And so for me to go into a crisis situation, I'm calm.
That's the place.
I'm going in there, but let somebody not call me back. Let it be silent in the room. My identity was shaped in crisis.
Wow.
My identity was shaped, and some of y'all out there.
Yeah.
Some of y'all identity has been shaped in crises, and you don't know, in dysfunction. And so all of them renew,
Oh,
restore.
yes.
Re-
Regroup.
all of them
Reconnect.
rewire,
Yes,
recalibrate.
rewire, all of that.
Because
Yes.
what it is God is taking out all of that stuff. He's taking out it all so you can see who you are. Because so many times you've been thinking you've been this person, or you're going to be just like this. You're going to be just like that. So you got to unlearn.
Yes.
You got to unlearn. So you got to know who you're not,
Wow.
so that you can know who you are. So
And
now
it's-
I know I'm not that trick. You ain't finna use me.
There you go.
I'm not. No. You can't just talk to me any kind of way. No. I'm not the people pleaser. See, I had to learn first that I'm not this because I thought I was.
I love that you have this awareness. And the other thing that I'm hearing is that preservation of peace.
Come on.
The fact that if I stay in a crisis response mode, I'm always reactive.
Oh, you
I'm
hit
always
it.
having to respond. And I've got to be the one to do, to say. But did I ever pay attention to how much in my backpack already? Have I ever paid attention that I got these big weights that I'm already carrying? And then you do get a call, and instead of saying, let me call you back, you'll just go and make the plan to fix it and to go do. When you could say, let me call Mr. and see if he can come and pick you up.
Right.
Instead of me stopping everything, I'm in my zone to get my things accomplished and to take the task off the list. But I'm going to let an interruption come where you know that's your mama, that's your auntie, she needs you, that's your cousin, that's your daddy, you need to go and do. Again, not that we would not want to be servants.
Right. It's a difference.
But you've got to know where you are, who you are, and can I carry anything else? Can I do anything else? Or am I operating with all these wounds and I'm a mess? Mm-hmm. And that's when you got maybe would tolerate a trifler. I might tolerate just because you took the bag and you, but there's nothing that says you really
Please
do
go
need to
into
be
that.
in my space.
Please explain that, what you just said. Because you will tolerate that.
Yes.
And you will carry them back. You'll let that person come in your life.
Yes.
And destroy your life just because he picked the bag up.
They took
My
this
God.
much, this little bit of 5 pounds, but they didn't pay no attention to this because when they took the 5 pounds, then of course I gave some more of me. I made sure that I had the dinner done. I went and ran the
that's
errands.
good.
I'm paying all the bills. I'm looking and making sure everything. I'm the administrator. I'm the lover. I'm the cook. I'm the housekeeper. I'm the breeder. And yet I'm not getting anything. So you got to make sure you understand that you worth considering.
And
Who's
I'm worth
considering
putting me first.
There you go. Let me be okay with, let me take this season. We in wintertime. We looking up at the north. It's crazy up there. The ice falling, all of this.
It is.
One of my favorite moments that I got a word, and it's nothing like being empty enough where it's not so much clutter that you can hear. Because God will bring either somebody across your path. We sitting here today working on identity, and we had the sister say a year ago, she posted something on the same day, identity, these nuggets to just let us know, stick here. If somebody need to hear this. So when you are in this kind of a place and you getting ready to do this work, give yourself that permission to do it.
That's it.
And to know that you can preserve peace. But I got to go back to that word consider. He said, have you considered my servant Job? Job called it, y'all. If I don't ever have to experience, I know I want to be that good for the Lord, but doggone Job. And then the lady told him, say, you ought to curse this God and die. He still didn't. And then God restored him.
Yeah.
Seek that restoration. Trust the restoration that when there are old pains, frustrations, irritations, even when you haven't been as kind and gentle to yourself that you might need to be for your what's next. Don't knock it, but consider.
Consider.
When somebody takes the time, this to me is love. When I consider you with everything I do and then the stuff I don't do. If I make sure that you are protected, that I want you to not have to do the extra. The other thing, I'm going to add this little piece in because it came up real strong on the left side. The other thing is when you are a grown up and when you're a human being that knows beyond the shadow of a doubt that you matter, you okay with taking ownership. You're not looking for it to be somebody else's fault. Why you da-da-da-da-da-da-da?
That's right.
Why you acting like this? If you hadn't done this, then I wouldn't. And they come at you so hard. But when you can say, you know, I hate that I spent that time not paying enough attention to you.
Yes.
So I need your forgiveness. And then the back would be, I had a conversation with somebody here recently and they took ownership. And then I said, you know, I have to take ownership that I didn't need to get offended.
Mm-hmm.
Grown-ups
Can have a conversation.
can have a conversation and they own their stuff.
That's right.
And they don't mind from that point going forward, you're going to see something different.
Mm-hmm.
If you have people always, I'm so, well, you know, I'm sorry, I was all frustrated, but don't nothing ever change, and you just go 2 weeks and then you have another bam. You go another 4 days, you have a bam. You got this, and you always got something being thrown in your face.
Yes, and I'm finding now, you know, and the scripture even talks about you got to fight for peace.
Wow.
Peace is not something that's just gonna come to you, because you got to fight for it. You have to know that, you know what, in this life, my life is worth fighting for.
Yes.
The peace that I need to live the rest of my, you know, however how long God got for me
There
here
you go.
on this earth.
Right.
It needs to be about me and me getting what I need for me.
And it goes back to tonight's topic being about, who am I?
Right.
Let me ask myself, let me have the courage to consider, have I lived these decades where I've been able to know who I am?
Right.
And if I've not known who I am, can I have the courage to consider that God has something else that he's saying about who I am?
That's right.
Let me explore that. Let me maybe close the ears down. And I've got this autistic grandson that when he don't want to be bothered, Bettina, look what he do. He do like this. He put his hands in his ears and then he cover his eyes and walk around. Sometimes we have to take all of the messages that come
Exactly.
and we apply. But when it's about our identity first, it's nothing like when you receive the love of God.
Come on.
Nothing like when you know you
Nothing.
done been redeemed.
Yes.
You've accepted. You've confessed. You've done all of that. And then he floods you with his love. Then from there, it's the growth. Mm-hmm. They say you a baby in Christ. Mm-hmm. Now you can grow up so that you can not only have those cross moments, but you can also have the moments where you're soaring. It sounds to me like you come into a place, and this podcast is about individuals who are able to recognize and see, I don't want my destiny blocked. And I'm going to do whatever I need to do to make sure that I don't put
And you have to do your own work.
Oh,
you got to be willing. And that's what I'm finding a lot of people, you know, in counseling or whatever, just in interacting with people. I found out working in community behavior health is totally different than working at people who got insurance and they won't help. So I've encountered two sets of people.
We have.
Exactly. Can you agree?
Yes, I can.
And so I recognize the people that pay for help, they're willing to do the work. And the people that don't pay for help, or not always, I don't want to lump them all. I don't want to lump them all in there. But a lot of times, people that are being forced to get help, they don't want to look at themselves.
I think that there is definitely, in this work that we do, and you having done this personal work, to have this knowledge, to have this testimony, and then being able to teach. The reality is, some people won't ever change and won't ever get the help that they need to get. But when you hear something that makes sense and you go from there, faith cometh by hearing.
By hearing the word.
And so once you hear it and you experience, and then you do that, whether I have had both experiences too, whether they paying for it and they know I'm coming in, I really want to do this work, help me.
It's out there.
There's that. And then there are the ones that do come in, but if you know how when you hit a little bell, ping, sometimes that stuff go off inside of them and they cock their head to the side and they like, I ain't never thought about it like that.
Yes.
And
I've
you
seen
get that
moments.
awareness.
Yes.
Man, there's nothing like it. And I appreciate that in this seat For those that are out and listening to us who have tuned in, when you get this opportunity to hear these words, do the work to consider your identity. Who am I? Have the courage to ask yourself, I know where I've been. I know who I've been. Who am I now?
Exactly.
And where do I want to go?
And that's another thing. I'm glad that you brought it back around to that, because I was thinking about whenever I'm thinking about my identity and understanding, I think about Jesus and how, he was a chief cornerstone that was rejected. They said, kill Jesus and let Barabbas go free.
Sure did.
And here's Jesus on the cross bearing all of the sins of the world. And here he is up there saying, they spit on him. They said whatever they wanted to say to him.
Yes.
But what Jesus knew is he knew who he was.
He knew who he was.
And when I talk about that image, our identity needs to be in Christ. Because once we find our identity in him, then we don't care what people say about us. We don't care about what this person said, because you know who you are. So if somebody says a lie about me, I know it's a lie. I don't have to defend it. And if I'm always defending Pratina, then what allows God an opportunity to defend me?
When I think about this Jesus too, it said point blank, he went to his own and they knew him not. So that family of origin that you expecting to get all of this from,
not going.
It might not be, but don't underestimate.
Don't let it define you either.
Thank you. And the other thing is, when he brings somebody in your life and it does the stuff that you didn't get, that's okay. But the other part that you just said, when I'm thinking about who he is in me and how I can yield to him to do, I always go back to that garden when he was like, is there any way you can take this bitter cup from me? And then he said, nevertheless, thy will be done. So if I go through something, what I need to get from this so that he can get glory.
That's it. What do God want? Because he had to endure. You remember that saying where they say, what would Jesus do?
Yeah.
And so it's like, sometimes you got to ask yourself that when you're in that place where people have hurt you to your white meat. I always say that's a hard place. When people have hurt you to that, I'm talking about that white meat where you can see the bone honey, how do you get yourself so you don't become, some people let it make them bitter, and then that continues to form their identity, so nobody can talk to you. You go over there, they offended, you say, hey, how you doing? What you talking to me for?
And roll their eyes and look all nasty.
And so you become angry, you become bitter, and then you wonder why nobody don't want to be around you.
When we're talking about identity, the other thing too, just what you're saying, I got to piggyback off of this. Because when I'm sitting and I'm so offended and people say this and people say that, and I do that pushback, do you know that underlier is I'm scared that I could get hurt?
That's what it is.
I might be disappointed.
Come on.
I don't really trust me.
Yes.
I don't have any confidence.
Yes.
That I even am worth anything but. So the clapbacks come. The resistance comes. When we think about you growing up and all of the different situations that we have gone through, some people are not able to be resilient and then do what they need to do. Some people make different choices.
And guess what? I look at it as self-sabotaging.
Oh, definitely.
Where people self-sabotage before they feel that you would do it to them.
Oh my goodness, yes, that can be the case.
And
they
so,
tolerate stuff.
Exactly. And they get with people just so they can be in control. Because if I get with somebody that's beneath me, don't think like, they don't think they're worthy, I can be worthy.
Wow. Yes, girl.
I can be worthy. So let me pick these people, like them narcissists or whatever you want, personalities you want to call them. They'll get with someone that don't know themselves, like them old, I call them gigolos. Honey, they want to get with the young girls. You know why they want to get with the young girls? Because they're not mature enough. They don't know. They're not going to hold you accountable. Long as you give me some, long as you treat me right, long as you do this. And so then therefore they look up here but really they're timid. And the root word of intimidation is timid.
So I'm going to intimidate you, and it's going to be about me pushing some power and control because I ain't never had none in myself.
So it's really not about the fact that they're better than you.
True.
But because of your identity is lacking of self-worth.
So do you
Low
tolerate?
self-esteem. Exactly.
And you
Because
take
you
it.
think it's what you deserve.
And it becomes a pattern. And once that pattern is there, then it's hard to kind of get the scissors and cut it out. This is good, Patina.
And identity versus survival. Many of us don't know who we are because we become who we needed to be. Strong, reliable, fixer, peacekeeper. Oh, I'm speaking my language. That wasn't identity. It was adaptation.
And that's why when we come together and she used that word, that makes so much sense to just clarify everything. It makes me do this.
So what?
Say so.
There goes the fixer.
That is.
There goes the people pleaser.
Yes.
There goes the one that I became strong too soon. Because
Out of
I wanted.
order. It was out of order. Now I got to say this to anybody that has an opportunity to hear this. It's also about you making sure you're safe and your children. I said this one day when you brought that up. I thought about how sometimes it's out of ignorance. People don't know any better, so they do. But anybody that's hearing this today, I got to put this caveat in because it came. Somebody who loves you is not going to hurt you with their words or their hands.
Come on.
Ever. So please know you worth staying safe. Staying safe and staying safe. No harm. No foul. Make sure you connect.
Yes.
And it's not to be tolerated or adapted to or accepted. That's that part. Thanks for that.
Yeah. And just as we're wrapping up, I just want to put some more stuff out here. Identity shapes vision.
Yes.
When someone doesn't know who they are, they make decisions without vision.
Okay.
I learned that I've gotten with people or a person
Finish.
that
Continue.
lacked vision.
Continue. Okay.
And because they didn't have a vision, how could they guide me and lead me? But because I lacked understanding of my identity,
Okay.
I tolerated somebody not having a vision and not knowing where they wanted to guide me.
So did it feel like you were stuck? Not going forward? Backwards?
Once I learned
or to
myself,
the right or to the left?
once I learned myself,
And so
but
once-
before I thought that was, ooh,
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen.
oh, because you said you loved me. But still, because you touched me real good.
It can motivate.
Because you touched me real. So, honey, I can't see you ain't got no vision because all I see is the emotions and the touch and the feeling and the.
So all of that can cloud your ability to see. You get blinded. But then there comes those moments
Yes,
where the lights come on.
exactly. And so vision flows from identity, not
Okay.
desire.
All right. Yes.
Knowing who you are changes what you tolerate,
There you go.
chase,
There you go.
and what you build. So when you know your identity, you're not going to tolerate no mess. You're not going to tolerate somebody treating you any kind of way, speaking to you any kind of way.
You won't.
Guess what you're going to learn? Boundaries.
You'll learn boundaries, and you'll learn that if this is not good for me, make your exit strategy. What else?
Last thing.
Okay.
Healing is recognizing the difference. When you start to heal,
Yes.
you're going to be able to recognize these things within you, so then you won't accept it in somebody else. If you can't recognize it in you,
Okay.
you going to accept it.
So it goes all
You're
the way
going to
back.
tolerate it.
It
So
goes
you
all
got
the
to
way back.
first get that identity,
There you go.
so that you will know the difference. No, you will not talk to me that way. No, you will not treat me that way. And yes, I do deserve to get paid $60, $100, $200 an hour. Yes, I am a multimillionaire. Yes, I am blessed and highly favored.
All the time.
So once you begin to recognize your identity, you will not settle.
And you'll
Be-
see it.
Exactly. And you will know what is a settle. Somebody, I'm going to tell you this as we're wrapping up. Someone
Okay.
that I know, and so people are used to me just giving
Yep.
without thinking. I'm just a giver. And so God has placed me in certain situations. I remember this when I was in Atlanta, and God had caused me to not have a job. And I had 2 mouths to feed.
You did.
And I didn't know how I was going to pay my rent. But you know what God did? He gave me just enough.
Just enough.
You know why he gave Pratina just enough?
So you wouldn't give it away.
Come on, somebody. And so that's what people have learned about me. They can come and say, oh, will you do this for me? Oh, this is going on. Sometimes they don't even have to ask. A lot of times they could just put it a hint out there to
And
me.
you just take
and
care
guess
of it.
what I would do? I would do it. But now I'm recognizing, this is big. You got to recognize intentions
Okay.
of others.
Okay.
You got to recognize motives of others.
Okay.
You got to recognize these people or spirits, or however you want to call them.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, you got to recognize them. But only way you recognize them is you know yourself now.
There you go.
And so then you are not gullible.
Yes.
And then you don't succumb to these patterns and these behaviors. Between you are and that trauma shaped you to be. So you got to know the difference between who you are and who trauma shaped you to be. Between responsibility and calling, between love and over-functioning.
I hope we hear that. And I hope we
I got to
make
get this
different
deep
choices.
down.
Let it settle. That was good.
And that's what knowing your identity is. And you got to do the work.
And that how you summed it up, and we brought a lot out today. But there is the reality of the wisdom, the truth, the facts as we know it from the experiences. But each person that gets an opportunity to hear this, please take it for what it is and know that this was an assignment to follow up on. But then know that you matter enough for her to have her birthday, I have my birthday. And then we connected here today on January the 24th, giving this wisdom. So thank you for what you not only going to do from yesterday, today, but what you'll do tomorrow, and you'll see the vision and you'll work it out. What else you need to say?
That's it, folks. And so thank y'all for joining us today. This has been insightful.
Yes.
I learn something every time I'm with you. I grow.
Same here.
And iron sharpens iron.
It does.
And we want to make sure in this identity walk, learning who am I, make sure you connect with people where you going. So sometimes some people you got to strip off and you got to let them go. And you got to allow them to go through their process. But you know what? I'm getting off this train today because I don't like where you taking me. My daddy told me this, and it was so powerful and profound. He said, it's not that you don't love the person. It's just that they're going somewhere where you don't want to go. So when they found you, you was at Walt Disney World.
Okay.
But they want to take you to SeaWorld. Now, I like Walt Disney World because we got more things to do than SeaWorld. But when I don't know my identity, I continue to let people take me where I don't want to go. let this be a podcast where you do that internal search and say, you know what? Do some checks within yourself. Am I surrounded by people that want to take me backwards? Or am I surrounded by people that want to move me forward in my purpose and my destiny? And if you find out they're a destiny blocker, it's time to let them go. All right?
All right.
Okay, real talk.
Real talk.
We're healing.
Yes.
And so we thank Von Seal. This is always awesome. Y'all, we do this every month. We thank God for Brandon Bundy.
Yes.
Our videographer, and my sister back there, Miranda, who was on the live.
Yay.
We thank God for both of you. And Amanda, if you watching, I wish you would see her. So peace out. So it's usually at the end of every month. And the next one will be coming out next month. And so check us out on Destiny Blockers. We have a YouTube channel trying to still get everything together. We're actually on Spotify too, thanks to Brandon. So if you want to check us out on Spotify, you can. If you want to get in contact with Von Seal Levine, she is a licensed social worker. And so she is over at, she does independent as well. Yes. So you can also reach her through Facebook. She's trying to get her stuff together now. But dynamic counselor. You know, a lot of people don't know that about social workers. They always think that they just case management. But Von Seal is a true clinician. Okay. And myself, you can always reach out to me on Growth Therapy. I'm trying to get my sister over there. Growth Therapy and and anywhere, you know, through Psychology Today, you just hit me up on Psychology Today. But this is ministry work for both of us, and we really want to see people grow and be all that God has called you to be and walking in purpose and your destiny. Stay away from destiny blockers, even if it's you. Allow God to get that stuff up out of you so you can be who all God has called you to be.
Amen.
Hit it, sister. Destiny blockers.
Let's talk about it. The things that try to stop you and try to block you from walking in your purpose. Welcome to Destiny Blockers Podcast, where we break chains, fake truth, and walk in a destiny. They try to stop you, try to block you, but you're still standing. This is Destiny Blockers Podcast. Real talk.